Oh, hello. Welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and welcome to my little workshop here. I was just adding the finishing touches to this sculpture here today with the bear and the moose, and just adding a few touch-ups here and there. But we're in the it's shortly before Halloween now, so we're I was thinking of doing something with a Halloween theme. I wanted to do this little cat here. I think he's kind of cute. You see, he's got his little. We're going to put a little witch's hat on him, and tonight I'll be showing you how to make the eyes, the nose, the mouth. We're going to do something a little different tonight. We're not going to be using a button-like eyes, but I'll show you how to take a sculpting tool and kind of sculpt out the eyes, put the clay back in, and make that little hole. And so we'll be using this periodically as our model, so you can see which shapes we should be making. There are several types of clay that we can use. There's modeling clay, such as this, it's oil-based clay that never hardens, and you can use that over and over again, and it's a very good clay to use. I used it a lot when I was younger, and I used to really enjoy using that because, when I get tired of something, then I would just roll into a ball and make something else. Then there's another type of clay that can be bought in the art store just as the oil-based clay. This is an air hardening clay. It probably hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight, and then you can paint it. And you can, a regular art store, that's where you would purchase this. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which you can bake in the oven at 275 degrees, and it becomes hard for about 15 minutes, and it's great to work with. And you can paint it, you can sand it, you can do all kinds of things with it. And that's what we'll be using tonight. Some of the tools that we'll be using tonight, I'll show you. We want to use toothpicks. I got the kind that has the flat end, and then we have the one with the sharp point on both sides, because that's excellent for the fur and using that to make the eyes. They will also be using some tools tonight. You can buy these tools. These are sculpting tools you can be buying in any art store. And the sculpting tool that came in this package that we'll be using is this little sculpting tool here. As you can see, it has it's almost triangular at the end there. And that's what we'll be using to scoop out the eyes. It's a great little tool. I mean, you can get some fantastic results with some of these tools like this. I'll show you the different size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. These two that I have on top here, we're going to be using this. This is going to be used for the witch's hat. So this is going to be used for the top, and this is what's going to be used for the bottom on the witch's hat. The body, or the tail, I'll show you the tail first. This is the size ball we'll be using for the tail on the cat. We're going to have a couple of hind feet or legs. We're going to use these basically for the hind feet. So this is the size ball of clay that we want to use for that. We're going to be using this size ball of clay here for the body. And then we'll be using this size ball here for the head. And we'll be using these two balls of clay for the legs. The first thing we want to do is kind of sculpt the body. So what we're going to do is take this ball of clay, and we're just kind of, I'll probably just kind of even roll it like this. What we want to do is just kind of do that, and we'll just work it a little bit. What I want to do is get the head, and we'll work on the head right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of the body, and we're going to take this ball of clay here, and we're going to kind of shape it in like the head. What we're going to do is we're going to look at our little model here. And you see this, how the clay, the face is a little wide, and it's kind of like fur that I created on the sides. We're going to be sculpting out the eyes. These are the shape eyes that we want. We want a small nose, and then we're going to kind of add clay to the side here, and to the left and right, and I'll show you how to kind of make that jaw, and then we'll be adding another piece of clay under here for the lower jaw. So what I'll do is, and then we want to make the pointy ears, and we'll put the hat on top of the head. But I will show you how to make the head. We're going to kind of make almost like an oval shape. I'll show you, and we'll periodically refer back to that to kind of make sure that we're on target. So we'll kind of make this into like a little oval. Kind of just work that in our hands. And, you know, it starts out as a clay ball, but I just want to kind of work it like that. And then what we will do is we're going to take our sculpting tool now. And what I want to do is sculpt out a couple of the eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to you take the sculpting tool like this, and you just kind of go in, and you take out the eye. You see that little piece there? And what we'll do is we'll take out the other eye. It might be, we'll just get an approximate size. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take and go from this side, and we'll take the eye out right here. And you can just kind of scoop it out like that. You know, and I'll just try to look at that, make sure that they're approximately the right size. Don't worry about proportions right now. This is a really cool technique. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you take the clay that you scooped out, and we're going to kind of like put that back in. So I'm going to take those little balls of clay like this, they're very tiny, and roll them. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this little piece of clay, and we're going to take and put this kind of like back in here, back in the eye. I've got to make sure it's the right size. You just want to have a very small piece of clay, and we're going to take this and we're going to put this back in here. And I'll show you, it's really cool. And you kind of take and we'll just work that back in like this. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of, as you push that back in, you're going to kind of make an outline of like the eye. And take your little tool here and kind of do that. And then we're going to take, and we're going to do this. Okay, so we'll take our tool, and we'll go like this. And then we're going to take the tool and kind of go like this. So what we're going to do is you kind of make the outline of the eye. You want to have that little eyeball there. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you kind of have that effect there. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we're going to take a little piece of clay and put it back into the other eye too. So you take this little piece of clay and we're going to work that back in here. And then we're going to take our tool and we're going to take and just kind of push that in. Because that's for the eye. And you just kind of push that back in like that. And just kind of work that like that. It's really cool. You just kind of work that like that. And we'll just try to look at the other side too. Do the same thing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the toothpick like this. We have our trusty toothpick, and we're going to take and we're going to poke a hole in each one of the eyes like this. You kind of just work it like that. And then we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. We're going to do this. We're going to take and you kind of put that in like that. You just kind of work it like that. So now, as you can see, we have the eyes. It's a really cool effect. The next thing that we want to do, we're going to do the additive technique for clay. I'm going to get a little piece of clay here, and we're going to add the nose. I didn't have a standard ball made for this tonight because you kind of have to experiment with it a little to make sure that it's the right size. So what I'm going to do is we'll just add a little piece of clay here. And I'm going to look at what I had done for the other cat. And you kind of this is what we're doing from the side. You kind of take and work that in like that. And we're going to make sure that we work it in like that. And I just want to look at what I had done with the other one. And what we're going to do is we're going to place a little piece for his nose. So what we're going to almost do is I'm going to take a little piece of clay, and we're going to almost make a triangular shape. I'll show you. It's where it's so small, it's kind of hard to show you that way. We will take and kind of put this in front here. I'm going to put that little piece of nose right there. And when I kind of take and just work that in a little bit, like that. It's kind of tiny. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to make the nose, so we'll kind of make the nostrils. So what I'm going to do is take this here and kind of go like this. And we'll do that from the other side. We'll kind of go like this, and we're going to kind of go like that from the side. And I just want to check it to kind of make sure I have the... So the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to take clay and we're going to add it to the side of the nose. So I'm going to take like this little ball of clay, and we're going to take and kind of add it to the side here. So you see, you kind of add a little piece of clay. It's the additive technique. And then we're going to do the same for the other side. And I'll show you, we'll take little pieces of clay, and we're going to add that to the other side. So we're going to take this, and I'll show you, we're going to add this to the other side right here. You just kind of add a little bit of clay, because what we want to do, I want to show you what we're trying to attain. I'll show you on this cat right here. If you look at the front, the nose, see how the nose is slightly smaller? And then there's this little piece of clay. We're going to kind of build out the jaw this way. That's why I'm adding the clay. And then on this side, we'll do the same thing. We'll build it out a little bit. And if you look at it from the side, it's kind of rounded there. And then what we'll do is then, once we build that, we're going to put in this lower piece for the jaw. So I'll continue to show you how to do that. We'll take a small piece of clay like this, and we're going to add that to the jaw here. We're just going to kind of build it up a little bit. We're going to add like that. And we're going to do the same to the other side. See how you can start to see how the shape is taking effect? We're going to take another little piece of clay here, and I'm going to add this to this side. And we're going to add that a little more. And, okay. And then what I'm going to do is we just kind of periodically check our work to see what we're doing. And we'll build that up. I'm going to add a little more clay on either side because it looks like it still needs a little more clay. So we'll take this little piece here and we'll add. So you can just continually add until you kind of get the effect that you want. So, and I'll do the same for the other side. We'll take a little more clay, just a little piece. You just want to do a little bit at a time because you're just kind of looking at it to see how it looks. Because you might have to take some away, you can keep adding, but this will kind of give us the effect that we want. And then what I want to do is I want to look at the nose again and make sure that the nose is good. So we want to kind of go like this. I want to show you. The nose here, you kind of hit it from one side. You almost want to make like a T on the cat's face. So it'll almost look like a T. I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. And I'm going to look at it to see if I'm on target with it. I'm going to make that little T that we spoke about. You can see that in the nose. You almost make like a little T. So now the next step in the process that we will do is I'm going to make a little lower jaw. So I'm going to take a piece of clay off here, and I'll show you about the approximate size. about this big. And we're going to flatten this out like this. I'll show you right there. And I will show you how we add that. We want to make sure it's about the right size. So we would take and put that down below like that. And we'll add it and work it in with our fingers. So you can kind of see that the shape of the head is starting to form. What we want to do too is we want to make ears. So I will take I'll take some clay off here and we'll use the additive technique again from the block. And I want to make sure these are approximately the right size. And I'll show you approximately the size that we want. I'm going to roll this on my hand like this, round them out a little bit. I'm going to do the same to the other piece. So you roll it into a ball like this. You can kind of see that little ball. And it's a ball of clay now. So what I want to do is make triangles. So we're going to take and flatten this out a little bit, and then we're going to make triangular ears. See how it looks like a triangle? We're going to do that. Make the triangle. And what we'll do is we'll make the ear like that, and I'm going to make the other one also. So we'll flatten the ball of clay out like that, then make the triangle like that. So you get that. And we'll see if they're approximately the same size. You know, I think I need to take a little clay off this one because it's a little too big. So what we will do now is I'll pick up the head and we'll add it to this side right here. You kind of push that on like that. And what we're going to do is work that with our fingers in the front. We'll take and work the clay from the side. And then the back. See, I'm taking my thumb. I want to work that clay in so the ears won't fall off. You just kind of take and do that. Work it in like that. And we're going to take and do the same for the other side. So I want to see if it's approximately the same size. And we're going to take and do the same thing for this ear. I'll work that from the front. We'll do some stuff from the side. See how I'm just kind of working that clay, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Work it like that. And we got that. So now, what I think we will do too is we have our little sculpting tool. We want to sculpt out some of the ear. So we'll take this, and you just kind of go in here like this, and you sculpt out some of the clay. Like that. So you can see how I sculpt out some of the clay there. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same for the other side. Don't worry about proportions. If they're a little off, that's fine. I'm just showing you some new techniques tonight that, you know, when you practice them, you'll see there's some phenomenal effects. And I sculpted out the other side. So you can kind of see that cat-like shape for the eyes and the nose and everything. So the next step in the process is we're going to want to take this and attach the head to the body. So we're going to take the body and kind of make it almost into like this shape here. And we're going to attach the head like this, and we're going to squeeze it together like this. So what I'm going to do is you want to take and work the clay in like this from all sides to make sure that they're attached. So you're going to take that, see I'm working it, and you take and you go and you work it from underneath, and then you work it from the side. So the next step that we want to take is I want to create the front legs. There's 2 pieces of clay. We're going to take these 2 balls of clay, and we'll roll them on the table to kind of create a log-like effect. We'll roll that like that, and then we're going to roll the other one like that. And it almost reminds me of like a log. So and then we can kind of round them out a little bit like that. They're approximately the same size, so I want to make sure that's about right. What we're going to do is we're going to stick the leg in the front here, like this. And we're just going to kind of work that clay in like that. See, I'm pinching with my fingers and kind of working in. And you want to work that from the other side too. And then a little bit underneath. So we'll want to take the other leg, and we're going to do the same same thing. So you're going to kind of work that in from that side there, like that. And just work that like that. And I'm going to kind of stand him up on the table now. Because what we want to do is take his front paws. I'll show you how to do this. We want to take and kind of pull him out a little bit for the paws, like this. I'll show you. You just kind of take and you pull them out like that. And we'll do the same on the other side. Just kind of pull them out a little bit, pinch them between your fingers, and you can pull them out a little bit. So this kind of what it looks like from the side. See how I pinched them out? That's what it looked like from the bottom, the other side. And yeah, we're in decent shape now. The next thing that we want to do is we want to take a couple of these other balls of clay, and we want to make like the hind feet. So what we'll do is we're going to take these here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to kind of just pinch out the feet. I'm going to kind of pinch it out like that. Like that. I'll show you. See that shape? You want to make that shape there. And then we're going to take that, and we're going to go in from the side here and kind of push that in. Like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to be taking the clay here and kind of pinching it in against the side of the cat like that. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So we'll take and we'll make the shape. I'll show you the shape that we want. You want to take and just work that in your fingers like that. And this is the shape that you want. So we're going to take, and I'll show you, we're going to place that on the other side of the cat. So we'll put that approximately right there. So we're going to take that. See, I take my fingers and just work the clay in, go around and work the clay in from that side. And just kind of make sure that it's attached. And then, you know, you might want to take your toothpick too and kind of work from this side here, the front, and kind of, see how I'm kind of pushing the clay in a little bit? Just do that, and you'll, to make sure it's attached. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create the tail. So what I like to do is I'm going to roll this on the table a little bit. And then what we want to do is kind of create a point like this. I'll show the shape that we want. We want to make it a bushy, furry tail. So what you want to do is I'll show you the shape that we're looking for. See the tail on this cat? See from the bottom, the top? We want to create that shape, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to take this, and I'll show you. We'll make the tail. And we'll make it into this shape here. So that's what the tail will look like. You'll sculpt it into that shape. That's what it will look like from the side, the bottom, the other side, and that's the top. So what we will do now is we will take our little cat, and we want to attach the tail right here on the very back. So we're going to squeeze that in like that. And then what I would do is take your toothpick, and you want to work the clay from the top. So kind of, see how I'm kind of taking and pushing the clay in like that? We're going to go all the way around and do the same thing with the toothpick. Let me see, I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So you get the toothpick there. See, I'm working the clay in. Now we have our little tail in there. And then what I like to do is we're going to create the feet now. I want to create the little paws, and we've used this one in the past. So what we're going to do is take the little paws, and we're going to take and do 1, 2, 3 to create the paws. See how I made those little indentations? And we're going to do the same on the other foot. We're going to do, I'll show you again, right here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. We will proceed to do it on the back feet too. So we're showing you this one. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. And then for the last paw, we'll do it on this one. We'll do 1, 2, 3. So we got that completed. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make the fur. So what we will do is on the face, you kind of want to take little short strokes like this, and we're going to make the fur. Just kind of go around like that with the toothpick. You take the sharp end and just kind of work it like that. And you can even do that on the mouth and the nose here. Just kind of work it a little bit. Just do that. You go all the way around. But looking at the cat, I want to make sure it's similar to the other one that we did. So we're going to take another look at our cat and compare them. Here, it looks like the cat I did last night, and I added a nice little feature. See how it's got like the bushy, the face a little wide, it's got kind of more fur there. We can take the additive technique now, and I'm going to take a little more clay, and I'll show you. We'll take some clay and we'll add it to both sides. So this is approximately the size balls of clay that we'll be using. And we will take, and I'll show you, we're going to take this clay and just kind of, I'm just going to lengthen it out a little bit. I'm going to add it to this side. So you're going to see how I'm just kind of, you push it in like that. And then we're going to go from the other side and push it in from that side too. So you just take and work it in with your fingers, and that'll create that other area that we want for the fur. And we're going to proceed and do the same thing to the other side. So I will take the clay, and we're going to add that to the other side too. As you can see here, we just kind of work it in with our fingers. And then I turn it around, and I'm going to do the same thing from the other side. So what we'll do is, I'll take a look at him now, see if he's somewhat balanced. I want to make sure that we got to, and then what we'll do is we're going to take that new area that we created, and we're going to kind of rough up the fur. Like this. See how we're doing that? We're roughing it up good. And we're doing the face. And then we're going to do the other side. Like that. You want to take and rough that up. And you want to do the entire cat that way. You want to do the top of the head. We're going to take and do the top of the head, do the fur. Just kind of keep working it, do short strokes. You do that all above the head. And even on the nose, you do little short strokes in this area too. So you're going to do that. You want to do the ears. What I always found with the ears is I always kind of want to put my finger behind there a little bit so I don't destroy the ears. Kind of rough them up a little bit like that. You do that. We're going to do all around the cat. So you do that. You're going to do the back, the fur on the back. You just keep going like that. You're going to do the entire cat in this manner. You'll do the tail, the top, and what we are going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the little witch's hat now. The first thing what we're going to do is we got this ball of clay here, this size here, and we're going to use that for the bottom. We're going to make that into a flat pancake. So you take your fingers, right, and you just take and make that into like a flat pancake, because that's going to be the top part of the, or the part of the hat that goes on the head. I'll show you. Just see, I'm just kind of making that flat. Just take and just work it with your fingers. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to take the other ball of clay and we're going to roll it on the table, because we want to make a point. Because all witches' hats have that nice little point. They're tall, they got a huge point. So we got this. I'll show you this here. We'll make her hat a little pointy. And then what we'll do is we'll take, and I want to tap this on the table now to flatten it out. I want to take and flatten out that hat. And then what we will do is we will take and we will proceed to put the two pieces together. So you want to take the hat and kind of work it like this. So I would take and just kind of work the clay like that, push it down on the table, kind of work it together so it's together. And what I like to do too is we're going to take the hat and kind of make it a little crooked, bend over like that. I'll show you. See, we take the clay and we kind of push it down a little bit. We got a little crooked hat. The next thing that we want to do now is we want to take our hat and we want to place it on top of the cat's head. So we will take and we will just kind of work it in like this. So we'll take and we put the hat on top of the head. So basically, when you're done, I showed you enough steps here. You're going to do the fur all over. I'll show you what the completed cat should look like. This here is what the cat should look like when it's done. You've made all the fur, gone all around the cat with the toothpick, made the fur and everything. You know, you get this nice little hat. You have a really nice effect with the eyes. See how we made the eyes with the nose and the mouth, and how we use the additive technique to build up that jaw area and then the underside. It's really cool when you poke those little holes for the eyes. It gives you a phenomenal effect. So like some of the other sculptures you see me do, like the more advanced ones, these are some of the techniques that I would use in the more advanced sculptures. So little by little, I'm showing you more and more things that you can do, and you can keep practicing. And what I would do is I will proceed to show you how to paint this. We'll move some of these tools out of the way, and I will show you the colors that we need. We have acrylic paints, which can be bought in any art store, and we're going to be using several colors today. We're going to be using, let me take these out. We will be using white. We'll be using for the eyes, and then we want to use black for the color of the cat and also the eyeballs. We're going to use pink for the inner part of the ear and the nose. We'll use gray for the color of the hat. And we will proceed to paint those colors. We'll use several types of brushes. I like to use several different sizes, and I'll show you the sizes that we'll be using. For painting the cat, the black color, we'll be using a brush probably about this size to get the color of the body. For the eyes, I always like to use a small brush for the eyes. We'll probably be using a brush about this size for the eyes, because they're very small. For the inner ear, we'll be using this size in the nose. It's for that size brush. And I will proceed to paint and we'll use one more brush. I want to use this size brush here for the hat. We're going to be using gray for that. So I'll show you how to do the hat first. We'll take this gray paint and we will proceed to paint the hat. So we'll take this. And what you want to do is you want to go up and down, up and down, up and down for painting the hat. Up and down, up and down. I'll show you. You're going to go all around like this. I'll show you. Do that, back and forth, up and down. Then we'll continue to paint the back side. You go back and forth like this. Let's do that. And I will show you when to do up and down. And I did manage to burn it a little bit last night, but when I baked it, but once you paint over it, you'll never even know that it has that little burn mark. I will show you, we'll proceed to paint the hat. And that's what it will look like, pretty much look like once it's painted the gray color. The next step in the process that we want to take is I'll probably show you the white. I want to do the white in the eyes. We will take the white, and I will show you, because it's a real cool effect. We're going to take, and we're going to just paint ever so lightly the eyes. So we're going to take and paint in here. You see, I painted, you do back and forth. This is a little trickier because the eyes are so small. Do the same thing for the other side. You see, I'm going to try to paint it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to just paint just ever so slightly. I think that's, let me see, get that. But that's what the eye should look like. The next thing that we want to do is I think we'll proceed to paint the pink on the ears. I will take the pink and we will do the ears. Sometimes these things stick. But we will take the pink and we're going to do the nose. So what we're going to do is take the nose here and paint this ever so slightly. So you can see the nose. Then I want to do the inner ears. Right here, like this. We're going to do the inner ears. And we'll do the other side, right here. We'll do that, to the inner ear. The next thing that we want to do is we want to paint the cat black. All cats around Halloween appear to be black. So what we would do is we will take and we will paint the black color. I'm going to take, I have to dab this brush a little bit and have our trusty paper towels to clean things up a little bit. And I want to take and use one of these brushes again. We're going to paint, I'm going to use a smaller brush because I'm going to try to get a lot of detail in here for the cat. So we're going to take and just kind of go back and forth, like this. We want to paint the cat. And we're going to use the black color. Just going to do that. And we'll do that same on the other side, just kind of paint that. And just kind of go slow. We'll paint, I want to see if we can get the nose, the the jaw area done. Okay. I'll show you. So you can kind of see what's happening with the black cat now. It's really starting to take effect, all the paint. And I want to go a little bit up here. We'll get up there too. I at least want to try to get most of the face done so you can kind of see where we're going with this. Just kind of go back and forth. And we'll just kind of just go around the eyes very slowly. And just kind of work that in like that. Because you can kind of see where we're going with the paint now. And I also want to do something else. I want to do the eyes. I want to see if we can dip the eyes so that that little hole that we made, we want to take the brush and just kind of dab that into the eye a little bit. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So you can kind of see he's got his little eyes. And I will show you how to paint the rest of the cat the black color. We'll use the wider brush now that it's there's a little more area. I'll show you what we'll do for that. So now we're going to take, and this will be easy. You're going to go up and down, back and forth, like this. We're going to paint up and down, up and down. We'll take up and down, back and forth, and up and down, and then I'll show you we're going to get them from the side too. You want to continue to proceed to paint the entire cat this black color. So we'll just kind of do that, back and forth, back and forth. We just kind of paint him like that. So basically, you're going to have your nice little black cat when we're done. You're going to paint the entire cat that color. We're going to paint from the other side too. We're going to just get like that. So basically, you have the idea. You're just going to paint the entire cat black, the tail, everything. And that's mainly what you see there. You can start to see all the colors take place. You just keep painting in that manner, and you'll have a really cool little cat that you can put on your shelf for Halloween. I'm not going to paint the entire thing tonight, but you get the idea of what it should look like. And it's a very cool little animal, cute little black cat kitten. And I'm glad you enjoyed the show tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And I will proceed to get back to my other sculpture here. And goodbye for now, and see you next week. Hi kids, how would you like to win some professional model clay like the one that I use in the show? Please send pictures of your creations in clay and we will enter them into a drawing. You can send by mail or email, and I can't wait to see what you've been up to.